Hi everyone, Richard Gompels here, PGA member. Just going to talk about helping beginners develop a golf swing. So I've done obviously about setup and posture and getting set up to the golf ball. But now let's just talk a little bit about what we'd like to see in the golf swing as a beginner. So a lot of time I see beginners come in and they swing back with the club and they tend to hold the wrists very stable, so there's no actual hinging and there's no twisting. So they'll hold the club very stable, and as they swing back, they tend to then sway their head because they're not actually getting the club head up in the air. So looking at it from down the line perspective, they're going to keep the club very stable in their wrists. They're not going to use their arms, and then generally going to sway off the ball. Once we sway off the ball, then we're going to move forward again and not make great contact. And generally, as soon as their head moves forward, the club's going to swing out of plane and not make a great shot from there. So my suggestion to a lot of beginner golfers is that you need to feel that the wrists can lift the club head up and down. That's the wrist area, right? That's hinging, radial and ulnar work, up and down, up and down. And also a little bit of twisting, okay, so let the forearms rotate so that when you swing the club back, you can see that I can lift the club head off the ground quite dramatically without a lot of arm swing, and therefore I'm not swaying my head neither. All right, and so when I can hinge the club up and then hinge it back down and back up again, let a bit of that twisting motion happen. All right, so looking at it from this line, hinging it up and letting it twist a little bit as I swing back down and twist it back up. You can see my arms are actually doing what they're supposed to do. They're functional this way, right, to rotate and twist and hinge at the elbow. So just use your wrist, don't use your elbows to hinge the club up. Okay, again, we want to try to avoid that one because then we're going to fall down. So we don't want to lose height in the golf swing. We want to be able to keep our height. So a great way to practice this is with the rubber tee there. And if you can just hinge up and down with a little bit of club face twist, moving the club backwards and forwards and hit the rubber tee. That is a great start to being able to make good contact and get the ball up in the air as well. All right, so let's not get into a habit of trying to keep the arms and wrists very stiff. Okay, put it this way too, if I'm using my wrists, I'm not really then having to sway my body around or drop height. Okay, it's the arms that are hinging. The elbow, right elbow is going to hinge, and then it's going to release the club. All right, you're going to release those angles to get back to the ball, and we can then add a bit of body turn, bit of body balance movement as well. All right, and it becomes a very effective golf swing, and we create quite a bit of speed with that too. Whereas, when I'm stiff arms, I'm not going to generate as much speed. So for everyone who's starting golf out there, get your grip together, talked about how to hold the club, get your setup posture going nicely, okay, so bending from the hips, and then start to use those wrists. Get swinging with those wrists. Allow a little bit of club face rotation from the shaft. You've got to twist it with your hands, and you've got to hinge the club up and down with your wrists. Alright, so try to copy that as best as you can, and always come and see a golf professional for a golf lesson.